All right, everyone. Welcome. Hello. My name is Rebecca, and this is my stream. Today I am working on a new house. So this is actually a client I'm working with. We've kind of gone back and forth on a few different things, mostly because the client is still kind of figuring out exactly which direction they want to go with their plan. We did originally have one plan that we liked. The only issue was it was very front to back. And once he got out on the property and started clearing trees, he realized he really wanted something that was left to right. And although he maybe could have just rotated the house on the lot, he did see another plan that he liked that we're gonna actually take my plan and modify it to kind of fit this sort of side to side layout. So first I'll show you, this is the version that we had come up with originally based on his parameters. So it's got a nice three-sided wraparound porch here, which is awesome. Up in the front, we have the great room, kitchen, and dining. And then towards the back, we have this long wing that goes back that has 4 bedrooms, bathrooms, all of that good stuff. Essentially, what we're doing is we're going to bust this apart and make it a wide plan. So instead of having the public areas at the front with a hallway dividing bedrooms and bedrooms, we're going to split this up a little bit, and we're going to have the kitchen and dining, we're going to flip it 90 degrees. That'll be in the middle. We'll have the master suite wing off to one side and then a bedroom wing off to the other side. So it just becomes a wider plan, but we're going to keep a lot of the same elements of this one, I believe. So I have the plan that I had created already, and I have a version of the plan that they had liked that they had found somewhere else that was similar. And so we're just going to work on how are we going to fit this all together. The biggest change is on my version of the plan, one side of the house was like 20 feet wide and where the extra bedrooms are, and the master suite was only 16 feet wide because of that hallway. But I think we're going to flip this just a little bit because we don't need the guest bedroom wing to be as wide as it is. I think that one can be much closer to, say, 12 or 13 foot. So I'm going to adjust that in my notes. We'll do 13 there, and then we'll make that side like 21. So I'm working off, I've got a print out of this, and now I've got my little sketch here at the bottom of how I want that to kind of map out. So I've got my real basic measurements. So now I can jump right in, and I've already set up the new drawing. So I use Chief Architect. Right now I'm using version X14. Although next week I get my new computer and I am upgrading to X15 next week. I just figured as long as I'm going to be re-downloading everything anyway, I might as well just do it all at once instead of worrying about updating to X15 this week. So got my plan set up. I'm going to start drawing my walls. The basic shape, the square footage that we're trying to stay in is about 2,400. So we're starting out with a 40 by 60, which is a pretty common size for these barn dominium style homes. You can actually buy the metal kits for that structure from a lot of vendors in that 40 by 60 size. And so they're already pre-engineered. You have your posts set up typically on either a 10 or a 12-foot center. I think this one, the contractor he's working with, the metal company he's working with, likes to do 10-foot centers just for more stability. So we'll have that layer added in later just so we know for sure where that goes so that we're not having windows and doors where the posts need to go. So we have our basic drawing. Real quick, we're going to pop in a dimension line and make sure. I always start out with just real rough layouts, and then you can always go in and adjust it later. So here is my 40 by 60, and as you can see here at the bottom of the screen, that is 2,400 square feet. So that's exactly what we want for budget. I'm hoping we don't have to do any bump outs anywhere to go over because, again, the whole point of a barn dominium, if you've really looked at that style, is about keeping it simple. What can we do within this rectangle? And anytime that you have to add a bump out or a jog, it adds to the cost of the foundation. It adds to the cost of the roof. You have to, add in these extra details. And I know this particular client, one version of this plan that he saw had a decorative roof gable, which is gorgeous, but he just doesn't care for that look. So we're not going to do it, which is awesome. Again, saves money. It was a window to nowhere. He didn't want it. Anywho, so now we've got our exterior walls. Now we're going to real quick pop out our dividing lines. So this is what's known as a split plan. So the version that I had before, if we look over at this one, that's kind of a split because it has that hallway down the center. I guess technically this would be called like a shotgun plan because you can stand here at the front door and just about shoot out that back door with a clean single shot. But this one has the public areas at the front and then all of the bedrooms kind of clustered behind it. This plan, it's going to have the kitchen, living, dining in this middle section, 2 bedrooms off to this side, and then on this side we've got the master suite, technically another bedroom, although it's going to be called office. And then back here will be things like the laundry and kind of a mudroom. Because I think on this corner of the property they'll do a freestanding garage. So we just need to have an exterior exit. We don't need to have a connection to an attached garage. So here's the basics. Then we'll real quick throw down some dimension lines, make sure we get our sides of the house where we want them. And so according to my measurements, this side should be roughly 21. That side should be roughly 13, which leaves us 25 foot 6, and that's actually bigger than I think we need in the middle. So I'm actually going to go move that over. Okay, so that's about where I think we need to be in terms of these measurements to get what we need in these wings. So I'm going to scooch that on out to the outside. Sorry, I'm just getting used to it. Gotta get my cord out of the way, sorry. Haven't streamed in a couple of years, so it's fun to get back into it. I just don't have my cords where they used to be. All right, so there's our basic wings of the house. So real quick, usually the easiest thing to do is the bedroom wing over here, because these are pretty straightforward. There's only so many ways you can kind of lay these out. So we'll do wall, 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 and then probably want to do wall and wall. So the reason, and like I said, this is a pretty common layout where we're just going to go end to end real quick, throw down that interior dimension line. What we're going to need to do, scoot this out of the way. This middle component needs to be 5 foot. And then each of these closets needs to be a little over 2 foot 1. So right now we're at 4 foot. So that gets us close. Okay, that gets us close there. And then, so 14.1, 14.4. So let's just start out with, let's say 14 foot 2. 2 foot 1. Oh, I was grabbing the wrong one. Okay. Five foot 1, and then 2 foot 1. So I know those dimensions need to be what they are. Now I'm looking here real quick, 14.2, 14.6, which means this whole assembly moves 2 inches back. So now everything is even Steven, perfectly symmetrical. No kids can complain that their room's bigger than the other kid's room or smaller or whatever. So that is that. The 2 kids are going to have this bathroom right here. Flip the hinge on that door. We're also going to do bifolds on this closet and this closet. Oh. And we're going to make those 6 foot bifolds. We need to make sure that this hallway is at least 3 foot across, although ideally 3'7" is best. And we want to make sure that our bathroom is something in the range of 8 to 9 feet, which yay. So let's make that 9'1". Then our hallway is 3'7". That should be good. All right. Why was that at an angle? Hold on. Sometimes those, there we go. Okay, no, that's right. All right, gotta mumble to myself. Okay. So we know that's going to work. Then real quick, we'll throw in our end-to-end. Actually, I'm going to start with the tub shower. Put that down here on the end. Now this is a shared bathroom, and in the original version, we actually had it sort of as a split where we had the vanity was out kind of accessible in the hallway, and then the tub shower were in the shared space. So real quick, I'm going to reverse this because I want my water line on the other wall. Standard, why did I? Like I said, I'm not used to having the mic there anymore. Okay, so this doesn't give us quite as big of... Okay, see, we had a powder room in that one, which we'll try and work out. So you know what? I think on this one, I mean, this is the easiest solution because then you have access from a hallway. It can actually minimize the need for a powder room. The only thing is right now this gives us kind of a small vanity area, especially if we put this dividing wall in right here. So we'll do that. Still gonna try though. So there's our pocket door. But yeah, that only leaves about a little under 4 feet for that vanity, which when you're sharing a vanity, that's not a ton. Yay, okay. All right. And let's see here. So that being said, this hallway doesn't have to be as wide as it is. So let's make that a little narrower. Right now it's at 3'7". If we pop in our bedroom doors here and here, we can actually pop this down, let's say 3'2". Yeah. And that's kind of a weird, let's make that 5. Okay, there we go. So now everything kind of lines up. We'll throw in our vanity. Vanities in bathrooms typically, and I only, strangely enough, only learned this recently or noticed this recently. Usually I had always been drawing 24-inch depth vanities in bathrooms, but 1'9" apparently is kind of a standard for bathrooms. Like you can do more, but that's just considered more of a luxurious size. And I don't know, maybe I just always worked on luxury projects. Okay, so hang on. Okay, so we're just squeezing that in. Not, I think that's a little bit tight. So for symmetry, let's drop this to 9 inches. Drop that to 9 inches. We'll update this middle to 27, which then gives us that filler space. So what you're looking at here, and part of the reason that I would do this is these dotted lines, that's the actual cabinet, and then the part on top is the countertop. But you see how this trim right here sticks out? You don't want the drawer to interfere with the trim and so forth. So we're giving ourselves a 1.5-inch buffer there on either side so that we don't run into the door trim on either side. So this still creates a nice countertop. The countertop is still the full width. You just have a slightly smaller cabinets underneath. And then real quick, we'll do our sink. Pop that there in the middle. And then if we do, hold on. And again, I kind of only learned this trick a while back. We'll do, hold on. Make wall, no, not make wall invisible. Okay, open. I can make it a no room definition. So that way when I call this a room, there we go, bathroom number 2, because there's going to be the master. It counts the whole space instead of me having to label both rooms individually, which is a nice feature because otherwise some of these labels can get really cluttered. So, and we'll do, just kind of scooch that over. Get our spacing nice and even. We can delete that line in the hallway, and then we'll do, this will be bedroom 2. This will be bedroom 3. So that half is basically done, and the only other thing we need to do is a doorway, and we'll adjust the exact spacing of it down the road. I'm going to make it like a 48-inch wide doorway. We'll put it centered for now, although depending on what we do on this side, we might change the location of that to one side or the other, just depending on how we want to balance it that way. Also, whenever possible, like if we can keep these doors from open, being open to each other, I like to try and offset that a little bit, but for right now, we'll leave that centered. So, all right, so that's that wing. The middle part's going to be pretty straightforward. It is going to be kitchen, living, dining room. So the great room will be the front half of the room, and the back will be the kitchen and dining room. Now, the one thing that I don't want to say losing, but the one thing that we are going to have to figure out here real quick is previously I had some overlap. I had like a little space here where I had the pantry for the kitchen and the closet for the bedroom that kind of shared a little wiggle room. And I don't want to dig into this bedroom at all to make that pantry space. So I'm probably going to flip this so that this is the dining room and then over here is the kitchen, because then that gives me the flexibility to kind of go into this back space here and have my pantry maybe butt back that way. Or because the width of this is a little wider, I can actually maybe build this out a little bit, have my pantry here and not take up kitchen dining. And then I've got the great room in the front. So we'll map that out, but it kind of makes sense to have the kitchen close to this back entrance. So first I'll come across here. I'm just going to real quick kind of just lightly throw down some, let's put that centered, and we'll make that 10 foot across. Yeah. My dining room previously, 15 by 9 actually. So let's do 9 foot. And then the rest of that will be kitchen. So really quick, we're just going to define these spaces. This is great room. This is dining. And then I'm not going to throw the kitchen label down yet because I still want to carve out that pantry. So I want to do that before I label the space. But I know where that is going to go. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. And I'm going to hop over here to the master. So my first thought was that I could pretty much just copy this. But this layout doesn't really work with getting in the pantry and the laundry room, mudroom kind of stuff at the back, because we still need to get this little component in. Now, because we made that other bathroom open to the hallway instead of Jack and Jill between the two rooms like this one is, we don't necessarily need this extra powder room, but there we go. But we do still need, see, they had an ensuite for this, and I don't know if we'll be able to squeeze that in. We'll try, because otherwise this person's going to have to go across the great room, so we probably have to. Yeah. Anyway, we will see what we can do. So now the other version of the plan that we were looking at for this area has like the master bedroom here with the other bedroom like right here as like an office, and then this whole backspace was all of the stuff associated with that. And I don't know if I like that as much. I feel like I don't know. Part of me looks at that and thinks that if we're going to have this right here be like the office or bedroom number 4, this space here should maybe be like the closet. And then we could do master bedroom, master bath, and then back here do all the laundry and pantry and stuff. Or maybe have master bath here and then do the closet, because then that way you have that access from the closet to the laundry if you wanted it. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way. So let's do doobadoo, 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 doobadoo. There we go. So very ballparky. Okay, and we're not going to call it, I guess we'll call it bedroom 4 because that's what we had on the other version. This is not quite big enough. It definitely needs to be something like 11.6, give or take. Okay, so we'll call that bedroom number 4. And then this is master bedroom. So what we could do here, okay, how big is the master bedroom in the other plan? 15.5 by 13. We're close, give or take. And okay, so roughly that's how big we need that room to be. These rooms over here are 13 by 14, so bedroom number 4 is definitely the smallest, but that's okay. And then we just need to decide how are we accessing this, and then are we going to do an ensuite? Because I almost feel like a powder room would be overkill in this plan because we have this. But because this is going to get real tight once we start to get pantry, laundry, and everything. Let's do this. Let's do... Okay, so that gives us an ensuite. This gives us a closet. But we probably don't need all that space, so... Okay, so if we bring this on over, bring that on over, delete that. Okay, so that gets us back to the size that we need. And then we just need to figure out, is this big enough for the master bath? That should be big enough for the master closet. Where do we put the closet for this room? Because if I eat into this for closet, then that's not big enough. At least let me look at the last closet. The last closet was 5 foot by 9 foot. So we're just about there. We need to make sure that this is... Okay. Okay. That's what I can do. Okay. So we will carve out here, 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 and here. We need... Okay, we need space there, and we need to know the depth here. So this needs to be 2 foot 1. Okay. And this needs to be big enough for a 30-inch door, which means, let's make it like, we'll try that. Okay. So So that gets us a 30-inch door. And then maybe like that. So we'll delete. Make that 5 foot, and then the door can be a bifold. That's a 48-inch. Okay. So then we've got that. We'll need a door into the master, a door into this room, and we can actually kind of put that over here. That way they're not right next to each other. This, we'll copy and paste some of these components. So copy, oops, copy and paste. And again, we need to reverse or unreverse that symbol. Copy, paste. And then copy, paste. It's an idea of this is closet space. And so it's that visual that kind of reminds them. So we can see how much closet space we have. And then we'll need a door of some sort. So we'll do probably a pocket door. Okay. So there's our master bedroom. There's the entrance into the bedroom from this hallway. And then this is what we've got for our master bath space. So we'll divide this out. And again, we don't want this to be too narrow of a hallway. I don't like to have confined spaces. I would say 3'7" is about right. There we go. And then that allows us to do a doorway at this end. I think we should be able to go up to about, oh, that says 35. So we'll do that as the doorway coming in off the great room. So again, this is kind of where we look at these doorways and see how they fit and where we actually want these to connect. I'm thinking I kind of want to do this and then flip this because I don't like this because then if the door gets left open, you can see into that. So if we flip all of this, and then I use my mirror tool here, like that. And then we'll scooch this up. That allows that space. So when you're looking at this here, you can hang a piece of artwork here, but it means if you're sitting out here in the great room and you look through this doorway and someone's left that door open, really all you see is that door. You're not seeing the vanity, the sink, any of that. So I like that. Okay. That fixes that. So back over here to the master bedroom bathroom. Let's look at this old plan. And this was a little different layout. We had a nice long double vanity, a big shower and a tub and an enclosed toilet. So we'll copy these things real quick. And then we'll come over to this plan. I'm just going to pop these right out here. So a couple ways we could lay this out. Okay. We want to enclose the toilet. Okay, so that's about right. So we can pop that in there. Then we want the shower. And I'm thinking we might steal a little bit of space here. Oops. Because then we want to put tub and vanities. So now we need access into here. That distance is okay. That distance is fine. We can come up with something to use this corner for. But we still need to get into here from the bedroom and be able to close this off. So okay. And then we'll make this a pocket door. And I'm not a huge fan of quite how tight that is. But I wonder if we shrink this just a tiny bit. So right now this is a 3 foot by 6 foot. Let's make this 5'6". Shift it this way. That still doesn't really leave me enough room. I'll have to make it 5 foot. Pull this out. Move the toilet over here. Move the tub this way, and we'll do something kind of cool to make it look nice. Okay, we're going to do a wall that's half glass, half tile. Nope, still want, that's a tiny, but I hate, okay. Okay. It's a lot of moving things 1 inch at a time. That's kind of just what it is. So the tub fits nicely there. Okay. And then we'll do a shower door. Copy, paste from the other plan. Once you've already got the elements in the plan that you like, sometimes it's just easiest to copy and paste like that. So that creates kind of a tight spot there. I'm not as big of a fan of that, but how about, okay, hang on. We scooch this way. And we flip it like that. That still creates a nice space. It creates symmetry. It creates the thing that you're looking into here, which is good. Honestly, I'd probably flip this here. Because if you do that pocket door, you don't have to worry about that swinging. And so that way, that's not really interfering. And really, actually, with this size of a shower, instead of a swinging door, I might even recommend a slider. So let's actually do that. So there we go. So then if we look at this down here, nice. And again, we're going to have to kind of, there we go. So I'm kind of copying some of the materials that I was using before. And we'll make the depth like that. Let's see if we can copy and paste this back in. Okay. So there's that, and then we just okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And that creates, so there we go. We've actually got a really well laid out master bath. So we'll go ahead and label this. I'll move the label up to where it's a little easier to read. There we go. So we've got master bath. We've got a nice vanity. We've got that tub shower area. Okay, I'm going to copy my note here. And then this is a 60 by 36 inch shower. Okay. There we go. So now we've got our shower head, our door, our pan, surround, all that. We've got the tub in here, and there's space if they want. One thing I've been getting asked a lot for lately, and I mentioned this in my last stream, is a little tiled ledge behind here. 7.5. Yeah, that's probably good. And we'll make it 32 inches tall. We'll copy the tile from here, and then creates this little ledge space behind, and that way you can put you know, your soap bottles, shampoo bottles, all that kind of stuff. And then we also want to do, hold on, a tiled wainscot. And we'll drag this around the three corners of this space. And we're going to come over so we're roughly aligned with that end. And again, we're going to make this, I'm going to say 42 inches tall. There we go. So that creates kind of that nice little tiled nook there. And then we got the shower. And then here's our vanity. So that actually works really well. Okay, cool. I like that. So we have the tub and 7-inch tiled ledge. Okay. Okay. Bedroom, closet, bathroom, all of that. So now we have this corner to deal with. We need to get pantry, laundry, and mechanical in here. And then this is where we would exit either to the side or to the back or that attached garage. So it probably would make sense for the exterior door to be kind of here, because then we can use this space for pantry and this back space for laundry and mechanical. We're going to want to have probably, let's make that a doorway right here, and we'll make it 36 inches. Because then we'll do something like that and that for our pantry. Let's go bigger. Like that. So then we've got kind of, okay. So if we drag a wall down here, here's where we can do a built-in bench for the mudroom. We'll make this 18 inches tall. Okay. And then we'll make a note. Bench and coat hooks. This is our mudroom. So I use the entry and rename it. We're going to flip the hinge on that. This is our pantry. I always like to, whenever possible, have the pantry be right by where you come in with the groceries, right before you get to the kitchen. So it's easy to access from the kitchen when you're cooking, but also easy to get those groceries put away without having to traipse through the whole house. And then we've got that, and I think on the other version I had mechanical access from the outside. I probably still could. I'll flip the hinge on that. And we'll do something like that. So then this becomes mechanical. And this becomes laundry. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Wait, sorry. And all right, cool. So, sorry for that. Here we are. So we got mudroom, we've got laundry. So real quick, we'll copy and paste. Again, the nice thing about when you've already done a plan is you can kind of pull certain elements. So I'm just going to grab this whole wall of cabinets. And we're almost exactly the same size that we were before, so that actually works out really well. Although I think I am going to mirror that. Oh, wait. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Okay. So we actually have very similar to the same size laundry room we had before. Easy in, easy out. The mechanical room is good. So now we get to go around. We're going to want this door to let lots of light in. So we're going to go to our library. Going to change that. Mechanical, this can just be a slab door. I don't want... I'm not even going to do that. We'll just do basic panel, whatever. Okay. Then we need windows. Window in the laundry. Couple windows in the master. Window, window. That'll look nice and symmetrical because then we'll do window, 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 window. And then, let's see here. We want lots of windows in the great room. We also need to do the front door. So, the door that I picked back here with the big glass panel, I want up here. But I want to make it a 6-foot door. Where? Center. That center. So then we have to figure out with this one. He wants a fireplace. He wants lots of windows. How are we going to lay this space out? So obviously we have this up here kind of towards the front. So it makes sense that the door kind of enters over on this side because then you can have a little bench right here for taking your boots off. This becomes the usable great room space, which means then the fireplace should probably be about here. So let's come back here. I'm going to copy this. And put it right about there. Okay. Then let's see. Move dining down here. We probably want like French doors or a slider or something going off the back here as well. For now, we'll make it a slider, and then we can always come back and change it. I want it to be a 6-foot slider. And then for our kitchen, set that down there for a sec. I'm going to put those right there. Okay. So you'll kind of be entering into the kitchen partway through, I think is going to make the most sense. Whenever possible, unless the client says otherwise, I like to put the sink, of course, on an exterior wall because that gives you light because you can put a window above it. Most people don't want to put a window above the range, although I have seen it done and it's gorgeous. Okay, so we'll start out by doing this. Okay. And that brings it a little far down, but oh well. Okay, then we'll get the sink under here. Move the dishwasher over here. Move the fridge over here. And actually, let's then we've got this pantry down here. I don't like to leave fridges just kind of hanging out in Nowhereville. So if possible, I like to try and cap them at the end with something. But that might also be there we go. And then okay. And then we need to move this over. Check our measurements. We want to have bare minimum is 3 foot, but especially because of how many appliances and how primary of a walkway this is, between 4 and 5 feet is honestly ideal. So we'll do, say, 5 foot. Oops. 5 foot from that end, and we'll do 4'6" from this side. The cool thing is this actually we're actually able to make our island bigger than it was before. So right now each of those is 30. Yep. So I'm actually going to add one more chunk of 30 on there. That makes us a 10-foot long island, which is right about at the max that you want. Oh, there we go. Because especially if you're doing like solid surface, that kind of stuff, that's the size that slabs come in. And I'm gonna recenter that. Okay, why is it not? Okay, delete. Okay, so that looks about right. We don't have upper cabinets in here yet. Oh, first we want to get the window above the sink. Actually, let's do... Okay. But I like to do big windows over the sink. So that right there. And so then we really just need... The tool that you are connected to matters. Okay, there we go. So, 3D view. Okay, and we had a vaulted ceiling, the other one. So right now, that's why those lights are wonky, but we'll fix that. So when we fix the vaulted ceiling, we'll fix the heights of those light fixtures. So right now, this is what our kitchen looks like. Just a couple little material adjustments. Okay, that all matches up. And then we want to make sure that our pantry here is opening auto right. Okay, so now that looks more like the way it should look. Okay, so then we will copy this. Into our dining room space. And copy, paste. Okay. So we'll look over here, turn back. And again, that chandelier is... Okay. Love it. And when we do this, actually with this door here, I'm going to... We want it to be a double, but we actually want the left one to be the only one that swings. So it will look like a double door, but it gives us the flexibility to kind of do that, because right now this was a little tight. I don't know. As much as I like centered, I feel like that's just... Yeah, there we go. There we go. So even though it's not centered, I think we still are gonna accomplish what the client wants here. Um, so window tools, let's do one big fixed window. No. And then a couple operating windows. And honestly, since we're not going with symmetrical, we'll do that too. So for this, let's do okay, so then let's come down here. Let's make that 2'6". And basically, I'm just going around and making sure that all of my windows and doors have a very nice, uniform, even number spacing. So they don't necessarily have to be the same distance apart. I just want them to be nice, even numbers because it just makes everything a lot easier. I think I did that one at 4 foot. And I don't necessarily have to match front and back, but sometimes it's just nice to. Okay, so 13'6". And we'll do 8 foot. And actually, let's do, and I do an 18-inch overhang. Okay, then we'll come to the back. Same thing. And then here I can just hit my endpoints. Okay. On this other version of the plan, I did a 7. I think I was going to drop that to a 6 though. So we're going to do a 6/12 pitch on the main part. And then we need to come back and do the porch. And the porch, we're going to do a 3/12 pitch. And it always takes a few tries to get these corners right when the wraparound porches aren't the same depth. So since I've got a 12-foot depth on the front and a 6-foot depth on the side, it's going to take me a minute just to kind of align these corners properly. And for that, I usually do hop up into 3D because it just makes it easier. So that's the basic. So we'll come out here, grab a perspective camera view. Oh, look, I have a coat rack hanging out in the backyard. All right. So that is that. I feel like I'm going to have to make things a little more even, and maybe 12 feet is too deep on the front. So let's actually drop that. I guess I only have it at 10. And I have the sides at 6. So let's make this 8. And let's make this 8. Okay. So then I'm going to delete those roof planes and do those again. And I'm just doing this real quick because I can always edit these here. Okay. So that's my starting point. So then I line up my corners. Okay. Come over and do the same thing on this end. So there's a shortcut key I can use here a little bit. Once I get these close, I still have to kind of make my ends angled, but then I can use the number 2 key and line my corners. So that's that. And then I think we want to lift this up a little bit because I don't like how, because we're doing the shallower 6/12 pitch instead of a little bit steeper, that joint comes back away. So I'm actually going to lift this up 12 inches. So 128. And the same thing with this back one. And that's kind of a subtle change, but I think that'll help. Yeah, I think that'll help that to look a little better. And then we still need to connect here. So we'll join this to that. And then let's see. Okay. Yeah, so that starts to look right. Then we've got to make sure that our roof planes don't run into our wall. So we actually want this to be back out here. And then we need to build our gable end walls. And on this end, we gotta do the same thing. Get that to the outside. And this is where we have to match this corner to that end. So we have to do kind of a break line here. There we go. Okay, that should connect. And if we don't do a covered porch off the back, I almost feel like we need to end this before the end because I don't like that wonky corner there. So let's, instead of making that the full 40 foot, let's do 30 foot. I think that. Yeah, I kind of like the look of that. Okay. And then let's see, 30 foot on the other end comes out right about to there. So okay. So that gets us our covered porch roof. It gets us our roof where it looks good. Then I just need to look at the other plan real quick and copy some materials. Okay, so we had this vertical brown siding. Okay, then we have the green metal roof. White soffit fascia gutters. White window trim. Okay. And that's our front door. Okay. Then, so we'll go around, we'll keep getting all these materials pinned in right. Oops, grab the wrong one. Okay. And we're just going around making sure all these materials line up. Colors match. We want to make this roof match all around. So we'll do that. Again, that soffit fascia gutter edge. Okay, and then we're getting our doors, window frames. Okay. And I want to match that door. I kind of want the screen door to match too. Yeah, I like that. Or the sliding door. And we still have to go through the interior and kind of make those colors match up too, but we'll get there. All right. I like that. Because on the inside, okay. Oops, that wall, that wall. Okay. So there's our exterior. Now we need to do some posts. So we'll come over here to our framing tool. And we want these to be a little bit bigger than, these are like decorative posts. So we want these to be like 8x8s, not 4x4s. So label that, remove the label, framing, labels, hide those. Okay. And then, okay, we got that. Then we want to copy and paste. Now our porch is 76 foot long. Usually about 12 to 13 feet is what they recommend for post spacing, which would mean we would need 7 posts end to end. So we'll hit here on our multi-repeat tool. We already have one, so we need 6 additional ones. So we drag that down so we're lined up with this corner here. Okay. And then we did 30 feet this way. So we need 3 additional posts. So we're going to grab our 2 corner posts. I change that number to 3. I gotta grab it in the middle. Okay, so I gotta zoom out so I can have that handle where I need it. 3 is correct. Okay, so then we'll drag this down to this end. There we go. Okay, so in 3D, we've got our posts. I should have changed the color before I did that, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got our wraparound roof, we've got a wraparound porch, we've got our posts. We can leave it like this, or if the client wants, we can essentially just do the wraparound all the way around. But for right now, and that, so then the front corner would look the same as the back corner, and that would work out really well. But I don't want to add that back porch unless they have the budget for it. So we got that. That was the old house. Okay, so we can close that view. Now we have the vaulted ceiling. Hold on, let me move these roof planes up. We want to, I always like to display my roofs on the attic level. Oops. Okay, there we go. So I got that out of the way. And then I need to add in my ceiling plane, because when I do a vaulted ceiling, if we're doing it with a scissor truss, the interior pitch is 2 degrees, or well, 2 increments less than the outside. So if it's an outside 612, the inside is a 412. So I'm going to draw in my vaulted ceiling plane. Comes across the front here and comes down to the middle. And then come across the back here. Meet in the middle. And then we're going to adjust this pitch to a 412 pitch. Same with the front one. So then if we go inside the house, you'll see that's what that pitch looks like on the ceiling. And it looks like my kitchen is not vaulted, so let's go double check that. Oh, yep, I hadn't removed that yet. Okay. So now that is correct, although it looks like we're a little bit off center here. So we need to line that better. Almost. There we go. That's aligned. Oh, and I did want to copy the ceiling paneling from the other version that I did. Okay. Because we definitely want that more rustic look in here. So then we'll paint our walls. Okay. And we want to adjust our light heights. Okay, so this chandelier in the dining room, you want to bring it down so it's about 66 inches above the table. And then for our pendant lights over the island, typically about 72 is correct. Why is that one not letting me click it? There we go. Okay, so now we got our pendants back down to the correct height. Nice and even over that countertop. And we need to continue getting the flooring and everything carried throughout. So I'm going to close this view and open up my dollhouse view. And I'm going to come in here real quick. We're going to carry this concrete flooring throughout. It's like a stained, polished concrete look. I love it. Because this is kind of a interesting rustic industrial. Actually, we're not going to do, that would be tile in there. Sorry. We'll do tile in there. Then we'll do that. And actually, we could probably do the concrete. Let's do concrete. Yeah, let's do concrete in that whole one and in this one. And then we've just got that tile in the master bath, which looks really cool. Ooh, I like that combination better, actually. Okay, so yay, that looks beautiful. Now we just need to go through and make sure all of our trim and windows and doors have the wood finished to them. A little tedious, but it's worth it when it looks good in the end. Although sometimes it gets all wonky and does. Okay, so I want to get in. Oops. We like the rustic cabin look, but I don't think we want to go full on paneled. And then we also want to paint the walls, so we're going to grab that wall color. We'll come on over here and do that. So yeah, I'm just painting walls. Way less messy than the real thing. Okay. All right, are we getting it? My computer's just a little on the slow side, so sometimes I have to watch my pace. So anyway, this is kind of the virtual version of designing and decorating and doing all that every project needs. And it's an important step because you want the client to connect with the house. And so if you send them a draft that hasn't really had much thought put into the paint colors or the wood colors or anything like that, if it's really like, especially like with this particular one, the client really wants kind of that rustic wood look, panels, things like that. And if I were to send them a version of the plan that didn't really take that into consideration, they wouldn't connect with the house as well, and they might not. Yeah, I mean, it's connection. They want to feel like it's their space, and so you want to give that to them in a way that they have that instant like, oh yes, I love it. This is exactly what I was picturing. Okay, do I have all of the doors and trim throughout? Okay, we got that hallway. Okay, closet, bathroom, space. Over here, do we have it all? Oops, missed a door. All right, so I think that looks like we got it all. The really gorgeous concrete floor running throughout. And then we're going to go back to the regular perspective view, and I need to just real quick make sure this fireplace matches up to the ceiling height. Okay. And in the other version, we had like this hallway. The hallway had the really cool paneling on it. So I want to carry that around because I like that detail. And I'm going to do the same thing over on this side with this little offshoot hallway. Come on. There we go. And lastly, this hallway. So I kind of like that detail is carried throughout. So we've got this awesome paneling up on the ceiling here in this great room. And then as you go into these little side hallways, you've got that paneling repeated there and there and there. So that's just a really cool look. Okay. We've got the fireplace that goes all the way up. And then the only other element that this house had that I thought was really cool, is we had a collection of mounts that we wanted to give space to. Oh, there was a big orange sheep in the other one too. All right, so that okay. Let's do these over to the other side here. And then we'll lift. Okay. There. Cool. And then we just need to lower this a little bit because we don't want his antlers hitting the ceiling. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I think that all fits. They can put whatever they want on that wall if they have another number of mounts, obviously. I'm liking this. So I think I have met all of the parameters. I mean, if we could get a linen closet over here, actually, let's do that real quick. Let's do. Let's get a couple linen closets here real quick. And doors. Okay, so we'll get that. Label these as linen. There we go. Okay. So we have everything there. We have all that. We have the kitchen. We managed to get pantry, mudroom, mechanical laundry. The master bath is gorgeous. The ensuite. I think we hit it. Yay! I'm wondering, layer. I mean, they are technically fixtures. But I'm going to label them plants because I don't want them to be showing up on this. There. So they're there in 3D, but that way they're not cluttering up the floor plan view. So there we go. All right. Let's make sure we got this going. Label the porch. Okay. Pull these dimension lines in. Don't really need that one in the front because it's redundant. Okay, so there we go. We've got a front door. We've got a door going out to the patio. We have this door going out the mudroom, which would lead to an exterior detached garage structure. We've got mechanical, laundry, pretty much everything we need. So, yay. I am going to line this up. Okay, so now what I do, hold on, let me make sure I got the right folder. Just gonna move a few things here. All right, cool. So now I can start saving my screenshots. Oh, we did not build the foundation. Build floor, foundation, mono slab. Pretty straightforward. Go back up, doesn't really change much. So that was the floor plan that we just did. Now we need to start doing some of the views. So let's do that. I like that. Okay. Okay, and then we'll also show this view. Okay, so now we're going to show all of the little interior views of the house. So we're going to go through and we're going to show the great room. We'll come over to this side and show it. Now I haven't gone back through and done an electrical plan as far as where all the can lights and stuff are go. I just put the kind of the main common area fixtures is just so you can see those pendants. I'll go back and do all the electrical and stuff once the plan is more confirmed. Okay, then from this corner, and from the kitchen corner. Okay. Then I'm not going to worry too much about the kids' bedroom side because that's pretty self-explanatory. This even is pretty self-explanatory. The bathroom, I want to show. Oop, and we missed a door. Okay. Sometimes it just takes a little while to find the right angle to showcase what you want to show, especially when you're in tight spaces. Okay, so that shows this view. Okay, and then I think, oh, I want to show, let's do, I need to go to my library and put some coat hooks in here. And okay. I also want a wall shelf. And we want, let's say, 4 more of those. There we go. So that looks like what I want it to look like there. And there we can see just a little bit of that laundry room, which I like. So, quick little view here. And, oop, I didn't get that one. All right, so there we go. Pretty much that's the last view that I wanted to show. Sometimes what's kind of cool though is this one top-down view. If we do it this way. If I can get the, sometimes it doesn't want to go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what we need to. And I forgot one other window over here. I missed one other window. Okay. So, and I'll do one last view here. Just because this is kind of a fun angle. All right. Awesome. So, yay. Thank you for tuning in and watching me work. Hopefully you learned something. And I hope you have a wonderful day.